Welcome to the Transfer News podcast, your go-to source for all the latest and juiciest bits from the football transfer world. I'm your host Dave, here with a cup of coffee and a notebook full of stories that'll make your football senses tingle. Alright, let's kick things off with our first story. Bayern director Max Ebel has been chatting about Leon Goretzka, saying, "We will discuss what the future holds with him again, but don't panic, Bayern fans," as he also mentioned how happy they are that Goretzka stayed during the summer. He's definitely a vital cog in their machinery. Next, moving over to the Netherlands, Ricardo Pepi, the USMNT striker, has been tearing it up at PSV with a whopping 9 goals in just 4 starts. And here's something spicy. There's quite a bit of movement around Pepi for a potential transfer in 2025. Clubs seem keen, folks, and who can blame them? In France, Jules Koundé has taken the honest route, admitting a mistake that cost his team a game. This kind of accountability is crucial in professional sports. Not to mention, it's always nice to see players taking responsibility, isn't it? Hansi Flick, on the other hand, was quite vocal about his team's overall lackluster performance after a tough game. He stressed the need for improvement, saying they must return to their usual high standards. Sometimes speaking out is the first step to bouncing back. Speaking of bouncing, didn't you see that thrilling comeback by Celta? It was a last-minute remontada that just goes to show, never leave your seat before the final whistle. Up next, Robert Lewandowski is proving age is just a number with a dazzling 20 goals in all competitions this season. I mean, when you have 15 goals just from La Liga, that's pretty impressive stuff. And let's not forget the magic of Ángel Di María, who decided to roll back the years with a 30-minute hat-trick, including a phenomenal bicycle kick. At 36 years young, he's still as fantastic as ever. The Brazilian flair was on full display too, with Rafinha stacking up 23 goal contributions by November. That's 13 goals and 10 assists so far this season. He's on fire, folks. Pep Guardiola recently sat down with the BBC and reflected on how his team is facing an unprecedented situation, but in true Pep fashion, he expressed confidence that they'll overcome it by winning the upcoming games. If history's anything to go by, they probably will. And lastly, we have James Maddison relishing a remarkable 4-0 victory against reigning champions. As he told Sky, "These are the special days in football that players savour." Couldn't agree more. Oh, here's a juicy tidbit from the BBC Sports Gossip column to wrap things up. Manchester United and Manchester City are eyeing a competition for Viktor Gyökeres. Meanwhile, Manchester City also have their sights on Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton, and Aston Villa is among the clubs interested in Manchester United's Joshua Zirkzee. It's shaping up to be an intriguing transfer window. That brings us to the end of today's episode, folks. Thanks so much for joining me. Remember to subscribe to the podcast on all major platforms and check us out at transfernewspodcast.com for all your transfer news needs. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next episode.